Hi, how are you today? Welcome to my studio. I hope you are well. So, remember this book? If you have one of these books that you're turning into an art journal, this one is called Flowers for a Friend, and I got it at the thrift store, but I'm up to where I don't have any pages prepped. So I thought, all right, well, I'm going to bring you along. The only thing I did in advance was I took some music note paper and some dictionary book, and I just tore all the way around so that all of my edges are torn. So I spared you that. I've got with me some regular gel medium. It's the matte. And I already opened that because that can be a tough open. And I've got my acrylic brush. I've got some acrylic water. And then I've got some gesso because we're going to work on a page with that. So if you can remember, this is that confusing books, Flowers for a Friend, and all the flowers are brown. So here we go. I want to cover this up so that I can use it for collage or maybe abstract art or just whatever I want. I am going to wet my brush and I'm going to dry it off on paper towels, and I'm going to give it a good squeeze. But the reason why I'm doing that is because otherwise the gel medium will just get deep in here, and I don't need it in there. I need it on the outside. So this way you're kind of filling your brush fibers a little bit, and so the matte medium will just stay more on the outside. So that's what's going on here. And this is a very shiny book. And that's why I'm using gel medium and not glue stick. Plus, unlike if I'm making maybe some tags or some other kind of ephemera, well, then that's not usually something that I, would get concerned about it lasting long enough. That's going to last long enough. But when I'm working with a journal, well, maybe 5 years, or I don't know, longer I would think than a tag or a bookmark. So that's why I have gel medium. But honestly, even if I felt like I had a super duper glue stick, I just know this paper is awfully, awfully shiny. And I am not going to start sanding journal pages. So gel matte it is. And I'll tell you, is gel matte expensive? Well, it's not free. And it's more expensive than just, Elmer's glue or a glue stick. But, our time is valuable too. We need to be able to relax believing that what we're doing is enough quality that it's gonna, last, and that our work is not just for nothing. So I do spend money on some of these supplies that, yeah, they're a little pricey, but I really feel like it's worth it. It is. Okay, I'm gonna just take that down to there. So what are you working on? Have you started an art journal? Did you buy an art journal? Maybe you bought a sketchbook and maybe you're working in a sketchbook. That is a great way to get started. A very good way. And you can get some sketchbooks. Now, I've not checked the quality. I have checked the quality on some of the papers that you can buy at like the Dollar Tree, like their mixed media paper. And there's one that's called something like pen and marker, something like that. That is a good paper. It really is. So, but I don't know about their sketchbooks. I know that they had a pad that was called drawing paper. No, I would not buy that. That is almost like just, what would you call it? Newsprint. And I mean no, it's just, it would just frustrate you. I think you would be putting work in and just really end up being frustrated. That's fine for children and their coloring book pages, but that's about it. And you know what, coloring book pages in children's, that's often printed on newsprint, so that's the quality. And you know, you want to, if you want to grab a marker, if you want to grab some paints, you want at least to have something that can handle it, and that book or that tablet, it can't handle it. So, but I would definitely look now. Shannon Green, she has a thing that's called Journaling by Fives. And I believe, don't quote me on it because I didn't look it up before I came to speak with you today. I just didn't know what we'd be talking about. But anyway, Shannon has this series, Journaling by Fives. And the way that you get started with it is with a dollar store, which now would be $1.25, composition book. And I believe it's if you take out every other page, then you end up with the number of pages that she wants you to have. I don't remember what that number is. And then the Journaling by Fives is fun. I've done it, and I would do it again in a minute. Takes several videos. Wouldn't mind doing it if that's something you're interested in, but I really need to hear from you. Please send me a message. You can leave me a comment. I mean, I'm not drowning in comments, so I certainly would be able to pick up on a comment like that. But I would be more than happy to do a series of that's the Journaling by Fives. It's what it is. It's a series of prompts, but normally when you get a prompt, that's kind of your journal page start to finish. With Journaling by Fives, the first prompt is like the colorization. Then the next prompt is maybe texture. You're adding texture to it. And then the next prompt, you're adding stamping or stencils. And you know, you just keep going. And then when you're done, and you're only allowed maybe 15 minutes for each step, but the idea is not that you become the world expert painter and gluer. You can go back, but it's to eliminate that long thinking where you just sit there and ponder and ponder. No, you gotta go with your gut, and you just gotta get going. And you know, what is the worst outcome? You're out $1.25 and some white glue to glue the pages together. So, and it's fun. It's a fun challenge. So yeah, Shannon Green, I recommend her channel. She doesn't post as often as she used to, but she has been posting lately some videos. She's one of my favorites, so every time she posts something, I get a notification. And you do that by not just hitting the subscription, but hitting the bell. And I know some platforms or some of the things that people like my phone. On my phone, I can do subscribe, and then I can hit the bell icon. On my tablet, no, I can hit subscribe, but I can't go ahead and like decide what level I want, if I want to be notifications or not. It's just not available on my tablet. So see, it depends on the device. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I put up a video. And that's just how I have it with Shannon Green, because I am interested in her videos. They're fantastic. They really are. She has a style that is just unbelievable. And she also has a freedom where you just feel like, well, sure, I can do that. And she gives you permission, if you want to do this, if you want to do that. And I'm just like, well, yeah, I do want to try that. So highly recommend. So how are we doing here? I think I just may lay this one in and call this side done. And if I don't have every little square inch covered, I am going to be doing something on top of this, and I probably would have time to go ahead and just do something over whatever I missed. I do like to have a coating of this gel medium over the whole thing though, not because I'm trying to preserve it, although that is a great feature, but more than that, as I come back with watercolor or acrylics or anything like that, I don't want it to react differently in different spots. And that's what's going to happen if I don't have it all covered, because some areas will be super absorbent and some areas won't. And that is not a desired effect, at least not for me. And as much as I try, I can still end up with not the whole surface covered. And I think it's because, you know, these things get a little rumply and bumpily. And even though I try to get it everywhere, this is thick. I'm going to give it a couple of sprays. My gel medium is just feeling a little thick. Yeah, that's already better. The only problem with it being too thick is I'm just wasting it. You know, I don't, and then if it's really too thick, then what will happen is that it will leave kind of a white glaze. And I'd rather not. Wouldn't be the end of the world, but rather not. Okay, that looks all covered. I'm going to work on the other side here. Get this brown flowers covered. I will never figure this out for the rest of my life. But maybe in the day this was really popular. I don't recall it. And I believe this book came out in the 80s, which I was already out of high school. So if it was the brown flower craze, I honestly think I would have remembered. Just saying. Maybe not. Maybe I tried to erase it from my memory. Oh dear. Okay. So, do you think you're gonna want to do the journaling by fives? Let me know in the comments if you've done it already. Let us know what you thought, but that's a fun one. I have a video up from not too long ago where I used a prompt off of Pinterest just to get a little inspiration. It was great fun. You can look for that on my channel. It was a lot of fun. It's in the playlist under art journaling, if you want to look for it that way. But take a look around my channel. I've got a nice selection of videos now, I think. For only being a YouTube creator for 2 months, I think we're moving along at a very nice pace. Look at their fruit bat. Interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. So I'm not counting on this background to be like instrumental in the overall. I'm just covering up in an interesting way the brown. And you know, on one of those days that you just want to sit down and journal, you don't want to find that none of your pages are ready. That's a disappointment. I'll tell you, this gel medium is drying before I can get the paper down. So a little extra water in there again isn't going to hurt. See, that's what's happening here. There's gel medium there. I can see it. But too thick. Drying too fast. And this paper that I'm putting it on, I really don't think it's absorbent because it's so shiny. I just can't imagine anything penetrating it. Okay, sorry about my arm. Reaching right across, boarding house reach. I want another piece of this. Oh, what about this? What can this do for me? Let's see. Yeah. Give that a go. That works. Quite nicely, I might add. I am really happy to find that dictionary. They're not common to find, at least not around here. And honestly, not where I lived before, so not in the lower peninsula of Michigan. Not in the thrift stores, and I've never saw one at like a yard sale. Now, estate sales, I have seen some dictionaries, but they were those almost like Bibles. They were so beautiful. Even I couldn't bring myself to just tear that apart. No. They were just big and just so beautiful that I would not have just tore into it. Even I have my limitations. Yeah. Went to the grocery store yesterday. Spent a fortune of money. Didn't get a fortune worth of groceries. I mean, just for one person, I'm just feeling so bad right now for families. I can't imagine. And my grandson, he's 10 months old. And of course, he's all mixed into this no formula disaster. That's really a serious problem. I hope we can come up with this, like I'm going to have anything to do with it, but I hope they come up with a solution, whoever is responsible, because we need one. We need a solution. All right, I'm going to work on giving this one good coat. Oh, well, there you have it. A little paint on the shirt never hurt anything. Okay. Good. Alrighty. Excellent. Okay, so the other thing I was just going to show you quickly is, see if I can get this paint off of me. All right. I just had this in there to hopefully keep it from sticking, but if I just put this here, then these guys shouldn't want to stick. And I'm not going to work on this side because I don't want to press them in. But I was just going to show you the other option is gesso. So I've got my Liquitex Professional Gesso, and if I don't get this brush totally clean, I'm not worried because this is it's an acrylic product, and I'm going to use another acrylic product. But I am going to give this gel medium a few more mists because honestly, it's just drying out. And so the only thing I'm adding back is what it's lost in evaporation. So giving my gesso a shake, and I'm using Liquitex Professional Gesso, and we're just going to give this a coat. Now I like the Professional Gesso for the best coverage. The basic gesso from Liquitex is good, but it is not as covering as this is, not at all. But this dries to a really nice silky smooth. I like it. But the basic has like a little more of the ground up marble or heavier grit, or I don't know what it is about it, but that has more tooth when it dries. It's rougher. So just depending on what you're doing, you may want a little more of a tooth. But there you go, see? And just like that, we've got that page covered. Okay, so we've got 3 pages ready to go in this journal. I hope you found this helpful, inspirational, educational, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next video. Hit the like.